In today's tough business environment, you need more than just a great idea. You need a game plan. With celebrity business experts Kevin Harrington, widely known as the king of the infomercial, and Laura Bettery, an expert in mobile, internet, and social media marketing. Hosted by Vonabelle Sherman. With entrepreneur guests, Family Trust Institute. Watch as up-and-coming and established entrepreneurs give their pitch to our celebrity experts and get their game plan to take their business to the next level.
Well, welcome to Game Plan, where the pros show the entrepreneurs how to take their businesses step by step to the next level. And one of our co-hosts, he's a household name now. He's the king of infomercials. It's Kevin Harrington. Hi, Kevin.
Vonabelle, great to be here. Thank you. We're going to see some pretty cool stuff today.
We are.
I'm really excited to be here.
I got a little preview there. It was pretty exciting, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, joining us, we're going to have Laura Bettery, and she is an internet marketing genius. And not only that, you are Google certified, and of course, a mobile marketing expert. Great titles, and we'll be able to use those gifts and talents to show our businesses how to grow and get a game plan.
Awesome.
Well, we're ready to introduce our next entrepreneur to our panel of experts. And his name is Jim Smythe, and he's an attorney and creator of the AIR Success Model. There you go. And while he's coming, let me tell you, he's a world authority on air preparedness and family transition. Wow, a mouthful. That's quite a title. It's nice to have you here.
Thanks. Good
Tell
to be
me
here.
about the AIR.
Jim.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Tell us about the AIR Success Model.
We find that 70% of estate plans fail.
Wow.
Statistically, that's what's been discovered. And most of the time, it's not because documents aren't done. It's not because somebody didn't do their proper tax planning or financial planning.
Okay.
But whether we're in China 3,500 years ago or we're in Germany 500 years ago, we can find writings that say that wealth does not pass from generation to generation more than 2 generations.
Why is
it just
that?
evaporates. 70% of estate plans fail because heirs are blind to the traps that are going to get them. And so we create awareness of that.
Right.
We create family peace. We help provide models and systems for families to have successful transitions. And then we help families to pass on their love and their and really their intangible intelligence and wealth that oftentimes is missed. The real capital in a family is the human capital.
Yeah.
It's not the financial capital.
Right. I've heard that. Take care of your human capital. That's really, really important. So somebody can create this perfect estate planning and still have it fall apart because they really haven't looked at it in a well-rounded way.
Exactly, exactly.
And
Give us an example
Yeah.
of how that would go wrong. Just a real life example, because we're talking like in very large terms, but I want it to,
Right.
I want us like
Some tangible.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
that like really would happen.
So mom and dad have $1 million and they leave it to 2 children and each child is getting $500,000.
Okay.
And so we see this all the time, and yet, and $500,000 for many doesn't seem like a lot of money, but if the children each have about $100,000 net worth, it totally changes their life and it shows up like a lottery winning. And what typically happens is it gets locked up in trusts, but trusts don't get heirs prepared and they don't know what they have to do in order to be ready for when it does become available to them. So typically what happens is it's just a staged lottery winning and it creates its negative impact in the future time.
Or as somebody said, yeah, I'm giving this to the kids, but help, they need a financial planner too. And instead of the kid just getting this money and going, woohoo, I'm going on 5 vacations and 15 TVs and, you know, I'm going to eat well.
Right, exactly.
They need a financial planner as well.
And when they think about a financial planner, oftentimes they're thinking about someone who relates at their particular level of wealth, their particular level of accomplishment in life. And so they might be very well led to buy things that they wouldn't normally purchase. And they may very well be in a situation where the future of their own preparedness is not part of the overall plan.
So the estate plan, which is to get the money to the kids, works. It's the plan after it's the estate plan that doesn't work.
The lawyers can pass on the money, right?
Okay, so they get the money, but then it's not it's not being taken care of from there.
Right, and if it's set up in a trust, oftentimes there isn't an awareness of why the trust was set up, and the children interpret that the parents didn't trust them.
As a lawyer, how do you, what's your target customer? How do you get to that customer as a lawyer that practices this? And this is your product you created?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, I've often worked with families that are in the $5 million to $50 million range, but what I've found is this is a problem that exists with all clients, including many of my clients that have substantially less assets, even $500,000, as I mentioned, or $1 million, because the children aren't prepared, and the whole approach to success in this area, the whole approach is one of, let's just do a will, or let's just do a trust, let's lock the money up and let's pass it on, and not realize that the children need their own strategic plan. They need their own mental preparedness and if you will, centeredness. And they rarely end up in a situation where the advisors are doing anything but focusing on financial aspects.
So what do you have in your estate planning that is different than anybody else's that accomplishes these goals that you're speaking about?
Great question. Thanks for asking that. I help them see where the traps are and the lack of preparedness themselves individually. I help them see a model where they can see the blind spots that they have. And what I found is that people are smart. And so if they understand, if they have the information and they know where their traps are, then they can prepare for it. But most of the time they don't know that, and the attorneys and financial advisors don't know to share it. And we attorneys, frankly, make more money if there is a fight than if there isn't one. And we oftentimes don't have a lot of empathy when a child shows up with money, because oh the poor thing, they're going to show up with a lack of preparedness with all that money. It's not something that professionals, frankly,
are you
are
giving
bothered
that
by.
second generation some training, some
We
written
provide-
information, so
we
that
provide
they don't go
training.
crazy?
And awareness we provide it to the first generation as well.
Jim, is this legal advice? Do you have to be a lawyer to do this planning kind of phase that you provide, or is this something that you could train non-lawyers to assist you with on a nationwide level in some fashion?
It's something I could train non-lawyers to do on a nationwide level, and there are people who do this, but typically the cost is $30,000 a year, going up to $1 million for some families, and it's really reserved to the very wealthy families. And so, but the same kind of information, the same kind of training, the same kinds of tools can be made available to everybody so that families can be stronger and heirs can be prepared.
So that's the plan. So from your years of experience,
Exactly.
you want to take this information and disseminate it broadly to your average guy, that they can then have this information and be able to implement on their own. Am I correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
And if they need additional help, they can get it, and we provide
Sure.
resources and places where they can plug into that.
I was doing some reading on this, and I heard, I see these ads for the reverse mortgages,
Yes.
where people that are a little older are borrowing against their homes, and then they get into all kinds of trouble. Is this something that you recommend against, kind of thing, or where's your?
No, I think that the reverse mortgage can be helpful to help someone basically address cash flow needs while they're alive.
Okay.
The preparedness of heirs is a totally different question, and older parents being aligned with their children and talking about issues of, okay, what's the plan, who's in charge, and what are the requirements is something that's really needed. Oftentimes people just name their kids to save money, but they don't think about what are the levels of expertise, what are the levels of competence that are needed. And so I help them think about that and align with the kids so that there's peace in the family from one generation to the next.
Well,
It's not in fact, I provide free capacity in any of the 50 states for someone to go online and basically use the same software that lawyers use in all 50 states to create wills or trusts.
Oh.
But on my website, I share how where the traps are, and it's pretty clear that the questions that will address those traps are not asked in the software. Because the documents don't get people ready, nobody's thinking about it, and none of that planning is integrated.
But I think also part of what you're dealing with here from an enlightenment standpoint is that none of us really want to discuss, you know, are leaving this earth. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And the person I'm least likely to talk to about it is my kids. You know, I mean, really having that conversation.
You hit the nail on the head there, Laura. You truly did.
Yeah, and I think it's important. You know, and everybody has their. But I remember, I had gotten ill some years ago, and I had to look at if I didn't get through this particular, you know, surgery, what would happen to my children, or how would I handle that? And I had to have some very, probably the most emotional conversations I've ever had to have. And frankly, I don't want to do it again. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, I get it. And I think you're right. You know, I've seen a lot of these kind of things, but I think that's where you have to broach a little bit here.
I have some thoughts on the marketing of this, though. I mean, coming from television marketing, I'm thinking a TV commercial that addresses right to the person that is going to be leaving some money.
Right.
They would understand that if they leave without proper care of that, you know, gift that they're leaving, that it may just be gone, and that's the last thing they want to happen. So you need to really be touching those people, you know, before they pass away, because by that time it's too late.
Right.
So I think a TV commercial, direct response television, is one way to do this.
I think that.
You know?
I think that's. You know, I mean, I think direct response mail is probably also, you know, good. You know, Dan Kennedy style, long form sales letter. But you know, there's also an internet play on this, because in actual fact, you have a lot of people who are searching for questions on their retirement. Do they have enough? Or, you know, when you're doing estate planning and retirement planning and whatnot, there's a few things. It's not just what am I going to leave to my kids. It's also, is there enough for me to be able to comfortably retire, so I have enough money to be able to actually maintain, you know, the cash flow I need. So there's a lot of searches for that going on, and I think that there's a, you know, on Google and Facebook and using all retargeting, you know, which is digitally stalking someone. For those of you who don't know, which I love. But anyway, that's another story.
The internet side,
And
digital
here's the
stalking.
thing, so you take a parent who worked so hard, earned a lot of money. They want to pass it to their kids. And they might not be aware enough to go, my kids, I love them, but they probably can't handle it. Because in that what they earned in one generation, that next generation can blow, which is not what that deceased wanted. I'm sure they would be turning over in their grave going, oh my gosh, what'd they do?
The facts and figures are probably astounding that the X amount of the money that's left, 80% of it that is left to somebody, it's probably gone within, in 2 years, 3 years? 17 months, right?
Wow.
So there's some facts and figures that if you had that in a hard-hitting sales letter, TV DR spot, you know, internet ad, whatever. These are things that 17 months, it's gone. I mean, nobody, I mean, you're going to leave someone $5 million. It's people that win the lottery, they blow through it. It's the same thing. I mean, that's the best analogy.
You could have imagery that, you know, having, you know, showing somebody working really hard in a factory in one end, and then the next, somebody like in Vegas going, all right, you know what I mean? You know, statistics show that your money will be gone to your heirs in 17 months, you know?
17 black.
Yeah, exactly. You know, what happens in Vegas usually stays in Vegas because they don't have enough money to leave, and that's the end of that, you know. But you get my viewpoint.
So it's that planning and bringing awareness from an outsider to help see things with more clarity, especially when you have any kind of wealth, and that's depends on who you are, what you consider wealth. It could be $1 million or 2 or 3. It's relative. That's the right word.
But the thing that oftentimes troubles people and keeps them up at night is are my kids going to get along? And is my money going to hurt my children? Because parents know that the kids need to be prepared. So if there's a way for the parents to just turn the kids on to, hey, here's what you have to do before this really becomes yours. It's not based on a number of years, because that's just a lottery winning stage. It's based on levels of competence that have to be required and information to be acquired. And that could be a lifetime project.
Warren Buffett's not leaving the money to his kids, and Anderson Cooper just said his mother, as a Vanderbilt, didn't leave him any money. And so, I mean, the smarter of the folks seem to be not even leaving their money to the kids because they think it's going to just go like that anyway, probably, right?
Right,
You know,
exactly.
Does it say something about the kids, though?
Yeah.
That you can't trust them?
but this, I mean, for those that want to leave, you know, some means for their family, this is the smart way to do it, though.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it really, otherwise they'll completely miss what it is that is likely to get them, and they're buying. They're basically naked, and they don't know that they're naked because they've got documents, but they don't realize that those documents are not going to address their real needs, and they've never talked about them, and the professionals don't really know even what to talk about in the area or how to help solve it. And so we're taking these solutions for really wealthy families and we're bringing it to everyone.
So you guys gave some great advice already. What else might you have to add?
One question: what's the entry-level price point that something like this is going to cost a family to, you know, for your services?
$4.95 a month.
$4.95
$4.95
a month. That's it.
Right.
I mean, what an unbelievable! I thought
Newsletter,
this was thousands.
we provide
of
a lot
dollars,
of information.
I think the online version is $4.95. I think you got to add a few zeros if you actually want to talk to Jim.
Well, you know, I was thinking, you know, it's good legal advice, but it's done online, and then that's lead generation for you as the lawyer to have, you know, some additional revenue streams.
Financial Planner Association, a partnership with financial planners who talk to people all the time and are aware of the money, the finances, and sometimes even meet the kids. What do you think of that?
This would complement what they do very, very well.
Yeah. Not only that, you also might be able to have a specific training program for financial advisors and lawyers to show them how to use this to help them build their own practices, because you see, when you're talking about the human element, right? That's us.
Right.
We need to know this information, but if you're going to be talking to other businessmen, then they're going to want to know what's in it for me, and so I think it would help them build their businesses, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I think so.
What I found,
those are good thoughts.
if you don't mind, is that beginning to understand these issues, the tax planning and the asset protection planning are things that they need to address anyway. But they can do all the tax planning and asset protection planning they want. If these issues aren't addressed, it's going to fail. It's only going to complicate things, and it's only more likely to cause distrust and ultimately a blow up. And it costs them what's most important to them, which is their families and their family harmony.
Right. Yeah, that is true. Well, really good stuff. Thanks for that information. I think you have a lot of good information to go that next step, bring it to the next level, create that game plan. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
You've gotten it from the experts. We are so thrilled that you joined us today. And go work on that game plan. We wish you a lot of success.
Thank you. Appreciate it so much.
All righty.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Annabelle. Take care.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Wow. And again, you had great insights with a different twist, each of you. Really impressive what you had to offer.
What is very impressive to me is to think you could say when he said $4.95, I thought he was talking $495.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
For $4.95, you can try this. I mean, for $5, you're in business here.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's a tremendous product to put up on TV. And if you know, when you watch these, like Robert Wagner does those reverse mortgages, and one of the other actors from I forget his name, Fred Thompson, right? Fred does it, right?
Good
They
memory,
come out,
guys.
That crowd is watching TV. This is the same thing, and if you could do a free trial on this probably, and I think it's lead generation at its finest.
Yeah,
very powerful.
I agree with you there.
Lead
And you see,
generation.
here's the thing, it's very interesting because being a professional, a lawyer, a doctor and whatnot, sometimes can be limiting because there's only so much time they can put in. And it's real interesting when you look at somebody like Jim, how he's put this program together, which allows him to touch and reach way more people than he would have just sitting behind his desk and doing your day-to-day stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
a DVD, it's workbooks, I guess it's something that it's just over the internet even, right? I
Yep,
mean, you don't even,
that's
the upsell would be his services.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because he's a lawyer, and,
Right.
you know, he
Right.
can do, you know, legal work.
time
then
is
from that,
valuable.
you know, but this is a great lead generation for lawyers, and I think to have, for Jim to go out and set up a network of lawyers who he could put the spots up on TV, generate the leads, and whether he sells those leads or takes a percentage of that revenue stream, this could be a national network of lawyers providing services to the public in their local markets.
Yeah, and it's really nice because it's all about family, taking care of the family, taking care of your assets and bringing harmony. That's really beautiful. That's a really nice thing. I'm so glad we were able to bring him a great game plan. Thank you so much for your great advice. You both are very impressive. My honor to be on the panel with you.
It's nice to be on a panel together.
Yeah, I know.
This is a lot of fun here
Well,
today.
thank you for being here on Game Plan. It was our pleasure to share the information from the pros and these great entrepreneurs. Together, they can come together and make terrific game plans. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time on Game Plan.